In VCT, there was one player that stood above the rest. Demon 1, one of the absolute best aimers, couldn't even compare to the player that we're going to be analyzing today. This player had a total of 1,402 kills across VCT in 2023. And who is this legend, you might ask? Well, today, we're going to be talking about Aspas, a 20-year-old Brazilian duelist savant. And while it's clear for most people that kills don't mean everything, when the second place for kills, Les, had almost 100 kills under Aspas, it certainly piqued some interest. Now, one thing that we notice is the way that Aspas tends to make a large amount of micro plays that help him secure kills in a very neat fashion. So we're going to talk about some of the small yet important plays that he makes. Let's break down some ranked matches and see if we can learn the way this talented player navigates his way through Valorant. Let's start off small with something he does consistently when he has the operator in his hands. He starts the round off not holding or showing any presence of where the operator is at. This completely denies info first that he even has the operator. Then it denies information on where he might be playing. In this instance, he's playing off sound and comms. He hears a comm that the enemy's working middle. He then hears that the enemy is running up mid towards his position. Now, at this moment, with dash ready, he peeks, goes for the shot, secures the kill, and dashes out, immediately securing his team the man advantage. Denying the information on where the operator is playing is a very good play and a very easy one to make. He does this very often while using the weapon. The reason it's so good is that it forces the enemy to use their informational utility to clear out angles he could be at. Then afterwards, he peeks out knowing that the enemy has a false sense of security, thinking it's clear. Next up, we have another micro play with the operator. When he uses this weapon, the small mind games he forces onto the enemy team cement him with some of the greatest players easily. And we'll find out why now. In this clip, Aspas sprints towards Catbox to hold top middle as opposed to holding tiles. This is done due to the fact he has information that enemy players are outside of A main, allowing him to easily get to this box without having a major threat from tiles. Now, in fairness, this is a risky play, but the risk pays off. Once he's to Catbox, he can effectively hold top middle while his teammate behind him on Cat spots tiles for him. He easily secures the kill onto Sova, who dry swings him, then falls back while staring at tiles. Now, this next part is what we want you to focus on here. He plays back in tree as his Phoenix shoulders tiles for info. By looking at the map, Aspas uses the information Phoenix gathers to help him know exactly where to aim his operator the moment he peeks. This is a strategy Aspas employs often. We've seen it in a few of the VODs we watched over, and every time he has the operator, at least a couple of the rounds in the game, he does this small play. And it always works out for him. Now, it's simple. Causing the enemy to shoot at a moving target, only to miss said moving target and be swung by somebody else while still trying to reset their recoil and aim is such a simple plan. But when executed in tandem with good aim and timing, gives it such an insanely high success rate. Now, I stopped looking through VODs as I got to this one here, where he absolutely obliterated the enemy team on Haven. I did a double take on this round right here. I noticed it right away. The speed that he was moving throughout the map, it was mesmerizing to watch. This round is an anti-eco for his team, and it starts off with early garage control and a quick trade onto their Killjoy. As he speeds his way towards C-site, he watches as his Omen gets dispatched by the enemy Raze. He attempts to trade his late teammate in this moment, but he fails to do so. Fortunately for Aspas, he gathered some crucial info. Raze was blast packing towards site, and Sova was posted with a Marshal on this angle. He spams, trying to land some damage or even a kill, but fails to land anything important. So how do you think he proceeds here? If you chose B, you're incorrect. The aggressive duelist closes the gap, preventing the enemy Sova from effectively using his Marshal, and also gives the enemy team no time to think about how to deal with him. If Aspas made the decision to reload and re-engage, the chances of him losing that fight were much higher due to the fact that the enemy players would have been able to post back up on the angle. Not only that, but getting hit by the Marshal in this situation makes his chances of winning this round much lower. Dashing in here is risky, sure, we get it, but honestly, it's one of the most optimal plays he could have made teammate in this situation. Once he dashes in, it forces the Sova to panic and most likely miss, and he can use default as cover to isolate his 1v1s here into more favorable duels, rather than being forced to engage from Garage. He instantly continues into CT and knows his teammate is fighting Omen, who is in Garage. Smoking off the two angles he could be peeked from, he continues safely into Garage window to assist his teammate in the fight. He speeds into window and picks off the Omen before unfortunately losing the round to a well-placed pre-fire. The way Aspas uses his dash to close the gap against the enemy here is honestly just outstanding. It forces the enemy to think on their feet in order to even attempt to deal with his aggressive playstyle. He almost single-handedly made every correct decision in this round and almost saved the round for his team. Now, unfortunately, he still lost due to the amount of damage he took over time. At the start of the 5th round we're looking at here, we see a standard Jet cross smoke. While inside of his Jet smoke, he hears the Raze pull rocket. Without even a second thought, he peeks through his smoke and takes care of Raze before her rocket is fully equipped. Continuing on his rampage, Aspas updrafts onto box, completely disregarding Reyna's blind as it's out of his field of view. This play also allows him to get the full view of sight, and he doesn't have to worry nearly as much about dying here due to the breach ult. This allows him to clear almost the entirety of sight in one swift movement. Take note of how in this clip, Aspas isn't just running into sight. He's following up off of utility for each and every step he takes. When he exits towards long, it's out of his Jet smoke with a Sova recon on the back wall. Then when he updrafts onto the box, it's after seeing his breach's ultimate quickly cover the entire site. It's signs like this that let Aspas know he has an opening to make a play. These are the sort of things that keep Aspas alive throughout each and every round, so that he can always have an impact. Another reason Aspas is able to rack up so many kills though just has to do with the agents he's playing. With an agent like Jet, you can almost always have an impact due to abilities like Bladestorm. Take a look at this clip for example. He starts the round off by holding for the window swing, and once he sees no presence, he starts his plan. Creeping down mid, a surprisingly good play to take enemies off guard. As they focus on Garage, he lands a swift kill on their Reyna, attempting to walk toward Garage. With his dash popped, take note of how Aspas takes these next two fights here. He's only 11 HP, so even just one bullet can kill him here. This is where you'll see how important it is that Aspas is using every strength of Jet to his advantage. The updraft dash combo lets him quickly catch the Sova off guard, giving him just enough time to land the kill, and then turning his attention towards window. Once again, you'll see Aspas preemptively jump through the air to give him a good angle on the player swinging for a refrag. With one well-placed kunai, he continues his bloodthirsty play and hops into window, right-clicking the Raze and winning them the round. Aspas uses a beautiful mix of timed aggression and mind games to throw off his enemy. Using mind games, it gives him multiple windows of opportunities to gain the upper hand. We saw it with his operator plays in the beginning of the video. Fights that are typically harder at the Radiant rank, he manipulates to make it look as though he's smurfing at the highest rank in the game. With the operator plays specifically, he used how Radiants play and clear in order to dispatch them effectively. Now, generally, if you don't spot an operator player, you get a false sense of security. You immediately assume that there's nobody posted on that angle. Well, if you're playing against players like Aspas, you're unfortunately mistaken. This is part of the insane mind games Aspas consistently employs throughout his games. In his gun rounds, he uses his dash to pressure the opponents while they're trying to adjust to counter him, giving them no time to think about their counterplay. Aspas has mastered Jet and has mastered the art of understanding how people at his level play. Just from a few rounds, we got an amazing glimpse into the mind of one of the current top players in the scene. His game sense, in tandem with his aim, make for a well-rounded monster of a player. We really hope that you enjoyed today's look into the mind of Aspas, and we hope you learned a few things that you might be able to apply in your games. And now we know not everyone has aim like this guy, but learning from the way that he plays around his opponents, there's a way to use that in your playstyle by just thinking about your moves and thinking about how the opponents are playing too. In Valorant, it's important to internalize how players play so you can understand how to flip fights into your favor based on your level of game sense. Developing that game sense, it takes time, but improvement is sped up rapidly if you know what to look for and how to work on it. Now, if you enjoyed the video today, let us know if you'd like to see more pro player analysis videos, as we're always interested in learning more from our top players and seeing what makes them so great at what they do. All right, though, guys, before we wrap this up, let's tell you a little bit more about SkillCapped. So we offer a 5-division rank up guarantee, and we think that's a pretty crazy thing to offer. It's kind of like a gym membership guaranteeing you that you're gonna get ripped. Your local gym probably go bust if they offered you that. But not us, because we've offered this for years because our service really does work. It works so well, in fact, that we're able to produce by far the largest catalog of premium Valorant guides on the internet. We add new courses every month with over 1,000 guides curated into over 50 courses. No one can compare. We also have a direct line of communication with subscribers in our Discord so that you can get connected immediately to some of the best players in the game who will respond to every question you ask. Sign up today for as little as $6.99 a month if you're serious about improving your game. So that's going to be all for this one today, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.